Good day, YouTube, friends, subscribers, viewers. This is Jeff from the Woods Trekker Adventure Channel. I'm coming to you today with a very short video. I was tagged by Smellin' Rose's channel to do my 3 favorite outdoor knives, and you know, I was kind of in a bit of a panic because I only had 2 outdoor knives in my possession. So luckily, right around that time, I was in the process of looking for a nice lightweight everyday carry knife to take with me on backpacking trips, and I think I found what I was looking for, which kind of makes me excited. Now I have 3 outdoor knives that I use, and I've been using and playing around with the new one for about a month now, so I feel comfortable sharing with you my 3 knives that I use when doing outdoor pursuits, whether that is bushcrafting or what I usually do, which is backpacking. So without further ado, I'll be right back at you. All right. Okay, so my 3 favorite knives are as follows. First of all, my Mora HD Companion was my first outdoor knife and still my favorite. We'll show you that in a moment. My second and new knife, and my second favorite knife, is this new Buck. This little Buck knife, a little clip knife, everyday carry. I'll show you that more in a minute. And my third favorite knife is this little case, Sodbuster Jr. This was a hand-me-down, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. Fourth, my Coleman saw, made in China. $9, Walmart, actually like $9.99 thereabouts. It works. It's cheap, but it works. For as much as I use one, it'll do the job. Also have a cheap hatchet that I've been using as well, and I'm going to show you all of them and talk a little bit more about each one of them here in a few moments, so hang tight. Alright, there's my layout, folks. We have this really cheap axe that I purchased at the Ace Hardware store. I think it cost about $15 or so. It's just a basic camp axe. There we have my even cheaper yet Coleman saw for cutting branches and whatnot at the camp area. And then we have my favorite knife, which is still the Mora knife heavy-duty companion. And just real quick, I did make some modifications. I have a little loop that I've put on through the back part of the belt loop, and I have a little retainer here that I made out of my daughter's headbands, or hair bands rather. And this is my first outdoor knife, and you know, it's really kind of something that I'm learning on. You'll see the blade. It's getting scratched up and kind of getting a used look to it. This knife here, this Mora knife, is again, this was my first fixed blade knife, my first real outdoor knife, and it's kind of the one. You know, I'm not a big knife guy, but I am learning, and you know, I love the Mora knife because you know, it's just durable and it's inexpensive. You know, if I mess it up somehow through trying to sharpen a knife and I do it wrong or whatever, you know, it's not going to set me back a whole bunch of money. And frankly, for my purposes, it does a great job. It's really lightweight. I mean, it's not ultra light like a little pocket knife or something like that, but for what it is, a fixed blade knife, it's still pretty lightweight, and doesn't, you know, kind of put too much on me while I'm trying to hike. So Yeah, that's still my favorite knife, the Mora HD Companion. And I would just want to give a shout out to High Carbon Steel Love. Dave, I watched some of his videos on the Mora knives, and I had this one before I even found Dave's channel last year, but you know, I had no idea how to sharpen a knife blade. No idea whatsoever. And I watched one of Dave's videos on sharpening a knife, and lo and behold, you know, I tried what he put on there. I found an old sharpening stone around the house where we live, and you know, went to town, and it worked out. So I got to give credit where credit is due. I learned that from Dave at High Carbon Steel Love. So Dave, thank you for the info on how to sharpen a knife. It was useful to somebody. And I'm sure it was useful to a lot more people than just myself. But so just in closing on this Mora knife, my first and my favorite still outdoor camping knife, the Mora Knife Heavy Duty Companion. Then my second favorite knife used to be this old Case Sodbuster Jr. I'll get to that in a moment. It has been supplanted by this little buck knife that I picked up, and I always wanted a buck knife. My dad used to carry one of the old-timer buck knives around, and you know, I used to look at it up on the mantle in our living room, and I always thought it was super cool, but I've never had one. And so I always would go to the Buck webpage and look at their knives and that sort of stuff. And lately, what I was looking for was something small and compact that I could use while backpacking, and I found this. It stuck out right away because number one, I could clip it to my belt loop or my backpack, a strap on my backpack, and number two, it was nice and compact and super lightweight. And this knife is called the Buck, I don't know if that's going to come up, but it's a Buck Apex. The Buck Apex, and it was a new knife relatively recently. Of course, it's made in China. It's not a good American-made knife or anything, but for my purposes, it does a great job. It came super sharp, and it still is very, very sharp. Let me see if I can move this with one hand, but let me set this up. So, it came very, very sharp. Tripod problems, folks. Tripod problems. But it came very, very sharp, and if I get that in the film, my film techniques are pretty poor, but that's it right there. And let's see, move it around. It's got an oddball shape, but surprisingly, when it's in your hand, it's still very usable. It's got some jimping right here on the spine. You're probably not going to use it for striking a fire steel, but the top of it here is flat. Now, I haven't tried it on a fire steel, but I'm sure in a pinch that it would work. I don't know what kind of point that is. I think it's a drop point, something like that. But one of the reasons I got this is because I needed a lockback knife, something that when I was working with it, I was assured that it wouldn't slam shut on my fingers. And I wanted something lightweight. Again, I keep saying lightweight, but I wanted something lightweight that I could attach relatively easy to myself or to my backpack. And right now, this is my second favorite knife. I got it about a month ago, and you know, I'm just starting to get really familiar with it, but I definitely like it. All right, and it shuts by just pushing this little tab here and closing it down. So the Buck Apex. If you're interested, I got it on Amazon, and they come in orange, they come in purple, and they come in a black and graphite kind of titanium look, which was really cool. But I've had a hankering for orange lately, so I figured I would just get the orange. It contrasts nicely with my backpack, which, you know, fashion's always important, right, guys? But anyways, that's my second favorite knife as of right now. And under certain circumstances, it's my go-to knife. Especially when I backpack, I take it with me all the time. It's like permanently attached to my bag. finally, my first really everyday carry after I learned what an everyday carry knife was this little Sodbuster Junior by Case. And this, folks, has been around a while. It's sort of a hand-me-down, you know, when I first started carrying a pocket knife, this was the one that I used, and you know, it works. It does the job for, you know, little things whenever I need a knife, you know, cutting things, whatever. I never really looked at it as a camping knife, just sort of an everyday carry. But the one thing that I didn't like about it, for backpacking use, or outdoor use rather, is the fact that, sorry about the tripod, folks, it's just my filming skills are terrible. It's not a locker. I don't know what you call it, but it doesn't lock. It just kind of snaps shut on a cam, and then you have to, you know, fold it down. It takes some tension to fold it down, but you know, I didn't like that. I didn't like feeling that where it wasn't secured and opened. Again, growing up as a boy, my father always had, you know, little buck knives and buck knockoff knives, and they always had the real stiff lock on the back tail there, and that's kind of what I was used to. So again, this served me for many years, and I still carry it. On just as an everyday carry in the pocket of my jeans or whatever. I still carry this, but for my outdoor pursuits, especially backpacking, hiking, etc., this little buck has kind of taken its place. If I'm camping, or if I'm doing a short hike someplace where I'm going to spend some time at camp, the Mora is going with me all the time. You'll see, if you watch my overnight video, I did some hiking and I needed the Mora knife to hack through some downed trees, and I didn't have my axe with me, so, and I didn't have my saw with me then, so I'm not sure what I was thinking, but the Mora knife did a good job. I wouldn't be able to do that with the buck, but anyways, as I move towards a minimalist backpack, the buck is again my go-to. But anyways, I'm rambling on. And that about wraps it up. So anyways, folks on YouTube, I guess that wraps it up for my 3 favorite knives. And these are actually my only knives, so I don't have a choice beyond that. But my 3 favorite knives and 2 additional utility type outdoor cutting tools. So that's it. Case Sodbuster Jr., Buck Apex, Mora knife, Companion HD, cheap Coleman saw, cheap camp axe. That's it for now. Okay, friends, thanks for tuning in and watching. And I guess before I sign out, I'm supposed to tag a couple people to do their version of their favorite 3 outdoor knives. So here we go. I only have 2. I'm going to call these out real quick. Eric at Deranged Survival. If you could tell us about your 3 favorite outdoor / bushcraft / backpacking knives, that would be awesome. Also, those boys over at the Adventure Archives, if you could point out your favorite outdoor knives as well, that would be awesome. And I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but anybody out there willing to show your 3 favorite knives, the challenge is out there. See what you can do, share it with everybody, and tag somebody also so that they can do the same. Smelling Roses, thanks for being such a big supporter of me, and thanks for this shout out. It was a real challenge for me, but I managed to put something together. I'm sure you can relate. Thank you, sir, and with that, I want to sign out to everybody, and take care. Of course, like, subscribe, comment, share, all those fun things. So, YouTube, for now, it's Jeff at the Woods Trucker channel signing off.